Greetings to you all from around the world. Thank you for joining us today. So some of you may already know me, but for those that don't, my name is Renée and I'm the Communications Director at the International Water Resources Association. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all, members and non-members, yet to another IWRA General Assembly for the current year 2024. So to facilitate your participation in today's event, I'll just quickly run through a few of the Zoom guidelines for the session. So firstly, please feel free to make good use of the Q&A section. We want to hear from you. So as the presentations follow each other, you're welcome to put your questions in the Q&A section by clicking the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. It's on the right side. And then the questions will be answered either by the speaker orally or in writing and displayed for everyone. Secondly, remember this is also your chance to engage directly with senior board members from the association present here today. So simply raise your hand using the reaction section also found at the bottom of your screen, and we'll invite you to share your camera and unmute yourself so you can ask your question directly. And if for some reason we don't have time to answer all the questions we receive over the next 60 or so minutes, we will provide written responses on our website following this General Assembly. Finally, please keep an eye on the chat box for any links that are mentioned by the presenters, and bear in mind all slides along with the recording of this event will be made available following this General Assembly. So as you can see, we will also have a few interactive polls launched throughout the session today. So please keep a lookout and respond to those once they appear. It is now my pleasure to pass the floor to the chair of this General Assembly, IWRA Secretary General Eric Tardieu. Eric is presently the Permanent Technical Secretary of the International Network of Basin Organizations, also known as INBO, and Director General of the International Office for Water. He has occupied both these roles since 2017. He's an environmental engineer, graduated from École Polytechnique with a PhD in membrane filtration applied to urban wastewater treatment. He worked in the French public sector and at national, regional, and local levels. So I'll now pass on the floor to Eric. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leonore, and good afternoon to all of you from IWRA offices here in Paris, in France. As Leonore mentioned, I am Eric Tardieu, and I am the association's Secretary General. And please allow me first to convey a warm welcome to all of our members, partners, and supporters that are here with us today for this IWRA's 2024 online General Assembly. This annual gathering constitutes an important opportunity for all members every year to meet, to discuss, to reflect on the association's activities and initiatives, also including the latest updates, strategies, and much more. This event is designed as an open assembly, as a forum, and we want to hear back what you have to say and receive valuable inputs for the association's work that will guide us in the next month and years to come. In addition, this General Assembly is an easier way of bringing together water resources experts, professionals, academics, students, and organizations across disciplines, across sectors, levels, ages, and regions from all around the world, exchanging around knowledge, sharing information, networking, and collaborating to improve the management of the world's water resources is core to our work and mission. So thank you all for contributing towards this goal and joining us here to find out more on the latest information and opportunities with IWRA, your association. Before I logged to this meeting, I was told about 265 registered participants. We seem to have a little bit less than 100 connected people right now. And we would like to get an idea of which regions members and non-members are joining us from. So as you can see, we just launched a poll to have a sense of the international representation that we have today for this General Assembly. So please select your region in the poll small screen that you have on your screen now. And while you are answering, I would like to explain the purpose of this General Assembly, which is the following. On one hand, we want to update you, IWRA members, partners, or supporters, and on our recent and upcoming activities, our financial status too. And on the other hand, we want to offer you the chance to meet IWRA executive board members and executive office staff who keep your association running. And also, we want to offer you the chance to interact and hear what you have to say. Everyone, as Leonor already mentioned, is invited to ask questions or comments. And I think that we will be able to look at the results of the poll. Thank you, Awantika. So Central Asia, 2%, East Asia, 14%, South Asia, 14%, to Southeast Asia, 4%. So if we combine all this strong representation from Asia, thank you very much. Europe, 25%. North America, 12%. Latin America and Caribbean, 2%. Middle East and North Africa, 16%. Sub-Saharan Africa, 10%, and Oceania, 2%. So this is really the proof that we are here gathered from all regions of the world. So having learned who is here with us today and your international representation, I would like to quickly move ahead and introduce the rest of our distinguished panelists that will be presenting to you today. So they are our IWRA president, Mr. Yuanyuan Li. He will provide a brief overall statement of the association. We have with us Renée Martin-Nagle, our IWRA treasurer. Renée will provide an overview of IWRA financial situation and future scenarios. Ignacio is IWRA acting executive director. Ignacio will summarize the activities that we've undertaken since the previous General Assembly 1 year ago, and we'll also point you to some upcoming projects and events. Basel Daher is the chair of the IWRA membership committee, and Basel will give you the latest update on the status of our membership. Dalia Sabri is the IWRA executive, an executive board member, and she will report back on the chapters and task forces progress. And you saw her already, Leonore Tikune, IWRA Communications Director, will be keeping this Zoom webinar meeting running and will moderate the questions. So I will be closing off at the end of this General Assembly with some main takeaway remarks and thanking you again for joining us on this important annual gathering for IWRA. And next, I'm now happy to introduce Yuanyuan Li, the current president of IWRA. Yuanyuan will provide a statement of the association on the recent 2025-2027 executive board elections, information about the executive office transition, and some great achievements that we should all feel proud of. As many of you remember, Yuanyuan has a rich experience in water resources management and has led in China many nationwide water resources surveys, studies, planning projects, and policies development for water resources regulation and management, as well as for regional and international programs. Yuanyuan has published a long list of books and papers about water-related topics, and his research results have been bestowed numerous state science and technology awards. Yuanyuan has been closely engaged in IWRA's activities for nearly 30 years and presently leads IWRA's China chapter. He's a board member since 2013. This is more than 10 years ago, and he served as a vice president on the 2019-2021 board before becoming president in 2022. Yuanyuan, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Eric, for your kind words. Greetings, everyone from China. It is my also pleasure to welcome you all here for this online IWRA General Assembly this year. As you may know, the 2022 and 2024 IWRA Exact Border Mandate is about to finish next month and the end of December. So please allow me to start by thanks all those board members who helped to guiding the directions of the association and provide much of their time and energy efforts to support IWRA's works. Our executive board has 21 members who embody a great diversity of knowledge and experience, as well as diversity of geography, gender, and age. It was an honor to have led this organization together with you all. Without any doubt, all of your dedicated time and efforts to commitment to build a more consolidated and well-established association, one that we can all feel proud to be part of it. A special thanks goes to our past president, Gabriel, for his leadership, as well as each one of the executive board committees that deal with many issues, including awards, oversight of task force and chapters, memberships, budget, financial governance, scientific, technology and publication matters, Congress and events, and the partnership and the affiliations management. And I also would like to extend my great appreciation to IWRA partners, including UN-related water organizations and agencies, other water-related international and national institutions, research institutions, universities, think tanks, multinational development banks, among many others. Our close collaboration progress IWRA continues to provide a good additional value with we're growing and prospering. Moreover, I would like to make a special thanks with regard to our executive borders, and in particular, the immediate past executive director, Colum Clinch, who left us on October 10th. Colum has served as executive director of IWRA more than 8 years, since he first joined the association in earlier 2016. During his tenure, he has highly instrumental in enhancing IWRA's visibilities as an organization, expanding our membership spaces, and initiate some joint research projects with many key partners. The full board and executives are grateful for Colum's directions and the works he has been done during these years. All of us wish him well in his future endeavors. Ignacio, IWRA's former deputy director, has assumed as a position of acting director, executive director, as of the October 11th, as Eric has mentioned before. During the past few months, we informed our membership about these changes, and we also contact organizations directly regarding concrete actions to follow, and the assignment of new focal points with IWRA, namely water exports of different dominance. If you have any questions on these matters, please contact the executive office. Before we continue to look what lies ahead for us, I propose we stop a moment and reflect on our achievements since our last in-person General Assembly that took place in Beijing during the 18th World Water Congress. As the following achievements that I will mention in a few minutes have a unique purpose, who is no other than to help achieve IWRA as a truly professional, water-related, cross-disciplinary, membership-focused international associations. Together, we aim to provide and establish more leading rules and influence and the interface between water science, water policy, and water practice in the global water agenda and affairs. Explore and produce more influence knowledge products for the sustainable use and management of water resources. Conduct and consolidate more of our professional activities through task force, chapters, congress, webinars, master classes, and publications. Establish and expand our interlinkage through our partnerships, agreements, and collaborations with a wide range of stakeholders, and offer more benefit and better opportunity, especially designed to support the professional career development of our memberships. We do all of this without losing sight of our vision, mission, and values, which you can find on our website, and the link can be provided here in the chart. Through our many activities, we ensure that our various interactions and work products facilitate and inspire dialogues, knowledge sharing, and importantly, science-based solutions for the sustainable development and management of water resources for all. Today, we have more than 5,500 members who came from over 145 countries from all around the world. This is almost a double from the 2022, a significant achievement, which the chair of our membership committee, Basil Tardieu, will tell you more shortly. You can also find a description of our activities from last year and recent year in our annual reports, which are published on our IWRA website. Here are a few highlights that we have recently accomplished with the current board. First is a World Water Congress. We hosted our last 18th World Water Congress in Beijing last year, from the 11th to 15th of September 2023, under the overarching theme of the Water for All, harmony between humans and nature, breaking all records in terms of the numbers of the participants, presentations, special sessions, side events, exhibitions, and technical and cultural trips. It was truly impressive. And now, in case you missed the news, we are happy to inform you that the location and the dates of the 19th World Water Congress have been announced from December 1st, will be announced December 1st to 5th of the December next year. Our next edition of the World Water Congress will be held in the beautiful city of Marrakesh in partnership with the Ministry of Equipment and Water of the Morocco on the theme of the water in a changing world, innovation and adaptation. The last Congress in Morocco actually was held in Rabat in 1991 on the theme of water for sustainable development in 21st century. IWRA is exacted thus to return to this inspirable region once again to address the world's most precious water issues. Stay tuned for more information and look out for the call of abstracts to be launched at the end of this year. Unfortunately, our agreement with the government of the KwaZulu-Natal to host the 19th edition, as announced in Beijing last year, was terminated. We were instead of the Morocco Congress. However, we already explored the venues and the dates for the 20th World Water Congress. So if you are aware of the possible host for this Congress in 2027, then please get in touch with our executive office. Second, I would like to mention is inaugural Island Water Congress. We are also pleased to highlight that recently we concluded the first Island Water Congress held from September 4th to 6th and Toshawa in the Faroe Island. This flagship event was hosted by the Faroe Geological Survey and IWRA, which provide a platform for crucial insight into the distinct challenges and opportunities surrounding freshwater management on islands. It brings together global experts, decision makers, and island communities from 40 countries, and the numbers that you are now seeing on your screen speak for themselves on how much was achieved during this inaugural Island Congress. Thank you to all who participate and contribute to make these events a success. Your insight, passion, and dedication to the vital issue of the water management on island have been truly inspiring. The discussion we had at the Congress reflects the global importance of collective work. The future of the water management, particularly for island communities, is crucial to ensure resilience and sustainability in the face of the climate change and growing demand. The connection made here, ideas shared, and the commitments take will shape the way forward. A special thank you goes out to everyone who made these events possible. Our host, Faroe Geological Survey, the International Scientific Committee members, IWRA board members, and the executive office, speakers, sponsors, reporters, and volunteers. Stay tuned for more information. We have opened a call for host for the second edition of the Island Congress in 2026. Please share this information with your networks. Third, I would like to report to you is regarding to the task force and project activities. IWRA also continued to focus on various projects, task forces, working groups, and chapters, which members are encouraged to get involved with any point. We managed to have a growing numbers of task force, including the ones on climate change, water security, groundwater, early career and young professional, smart water management, water quality, land for water, and a new one on water and SDGs, accounting for total 8 task force now we have. All of them with operation work groups on related issues. As well, we had an increased number of the geological chapters, including a new chapter on Egypt, led by our board members, Dalia. This bring our total chapter together to 7. Our projects, including an annual case study report series with UNESCO, International Center for Water Security and Sustainable Management, concentrate on different aspects on water security on each issues. And we made good progress to possible continue our close collaboration with K-Water and Asian Water Council further on 3 years Smart Water Cities project from 2021 to 2024. More on IWRA projects updates were followed by Ignacio. Number 4, I would like to report to you on the 2025 to 2026 IWRA board elections. Yes, I would like to conclude by informing you that a new cohort of the board members has been elected for the term of 2025 to 2027. Never in our history we had so many candidates running for board members for borders, and this also speaks to the success of our association today. Please join me in congratulating the elected new or renewed board members who will represent our IWRA as a professional water agencies. And please also join me in thanking those who will leave us as January 1st next year. They were certainly missed and still keep closing link with our IWRA associations. I will finish by saying that a great honor is to serve as the president of IWRA for the upcoming term. Having been elected as a president again, I will committed to continue to my best to represent our entire and growing membership and work with the rest of our amazing dedicated board and our members. I also would like to encourage our members and partners to participate and promote in different ways with our activities, generating more knowledge products with technical focus and growing IWRA presence globally. I repeat again that I said several times, IWRA aims to be an inclusive committee, that you are proud to be part of it, that your value and that you recommend to your colleagues and friends as a membership-based association. We are nothing without our members. Thank you for your continued support of IWRA and your kind attention. So that's my statement and some of the work report. So I guess we have a limited limited time, so probably there's no time to ask a question, but you can post your questions on the chart.
Thank you, Yuanyuan. We have two questions related to our Congress in Marrakesh. The first one is around how we can reserve a place at the World Water Congress. So like we mentioned, we will soon launch the call for abstracts and proposals for special sessions, side events, etc. So if you can just keep posted on our social media channels, our website, all that information will become available. And then the second question was also around how you can participate. So you can either participate as a speaker through your abstract or by organizing a special session with the organization or a side event. So all this information will become available, or as a sponsor if you're interested as well. We encourage those as well. And then the last comment is just congratulations to all the new board members. So I think now we can move on to our next speaker. So I'd now like to pass the floor over to Renée Martin-Nagle. She's the current IWRA treasurer since 2016 and the newly elected Secretary General of IWRA from 1st of January 2025. Congratulations, Renée. Renée has a background in both law and water. She was the co-chair of the International Scientific Committee for the 18th World Water Congress and will now serve as a special advisor and of the co-chair for the 19th World Water Congress, Rabi Mota. She's the president and CEO of A Ripple Effect, and she has a PhD in water law. And she's also the water subject matter expert for the consulting firm Accenture. Over to you, Renée.
Thanks so much, Leonore. I'm very much looking forward to serving as IWRA's Secretary General in the next term, following Eric's great leadership in that position. And hello to everyone from New York, where IWRA has a presence at the planning meetings for the 2026 UN Water Conference. I am pleased to join you today and give a report on IWRA's finances, which are critical to the continuity and stability of our organization. Although IWRA has faced some financial hurdles recently, finalizing a contract with the Moroccan Ministry of Equipment and Water to host the 19th World Water Congress next year put us back on much firmer financial grounds. As you may recall, and as you can see from the slides showing our balance sheet and revenues, IWRA is still dependent to a large extent on the revenue we get from our World Water Congresses, although we receive much smaller amounts of revenue from projects and grants, publications, and membership fees. Our biggest expenses in descending order are executive office staff, projects and reports costs, travel costs, editorial services costs for our flagship publication, Water International, marketing and communications, facilities for rent and computers, and finance and administration fees. In order to cover those costs, and until the payment for the 19th World Water Congress is received in March 2025, the board has agreed to do the following. We have transferred funds from our US dollar bank accounts in the United States and in France to the Euro account in France, since IWRA operates in euros. And we have approved the temporary borrowing from the Venti Chao Fund to be fully reimbursed when the payment for the 19th World Water Congress is received. With those transfers, we should be fine until March. We have taken steps to decrease our costs, including reducing payments to staff, and the position of executive director is not being filled for the time being, although Ignacio Deregibus has been performing admirably as the acting executive director. In addition, with the gracious permission of our landlord, INBO, we are postponing the payment for rent for our office in Paris until 2025. Finally, we are limiting unreimbursed travel to the greatest extent possible until we receive the payment for the 19th World Water Congress in the second quarter of next year. As always, the board and executive office team are constantly looking for new sources of income and are focusing on finding future hosts for our World Water Congresses, Islands Water Congresses, online conferences, masterclasses, webinar series, and new water projects that can provide a diverse revenue stream to guarantee the sustainability of our activities and our work in the short, medium, and longer terms. Any suggestions on possible hosts for events and for collaborative projects and grants would be warmly welcome. Please contact our acting executive director, Ignacio Deregibus, if you have any ideas. And now, unless there are any questions, I would like to introduce our acting executive director, Ignacio Deregibus, who will be familiar to many of you, as he has had several roles since he joined IWRA's executive office in 2016, first as communications officer, and then as deputy executive director, and now he is serving as acting executive director. He will provide a further summary of our main activities since the previous General Assembly held in September of last year. Over to you, Ignacio.
Thank you very much, Renée, Yuanyuan, and Eric. A very good afternoon to you all from Bilbao, Spain, where I'm currently based. Before I get started, I also want to express my gratitude to all board members, as well as Yuanyuan previously transmitted, because they offered full support and they were very generous with their time and expertise during the transition period at the executive office with recent changes in management. I would also like to convey a special thank you to the executive office team, Leonor Chicune, IWRA's communication director, Andrea Santos, IWRA's events officer, Awanti Kapal, IWRA's administrative officer, because they were instrumental to delivering all commitments in many various fronts and a true source of patience, understanding, and support. So thank you also for helping me organize yet another General Assembly. In terms of our main current projects, with significant support from our Water Security Task Force, I can highlight the following. The annual UNESCO International Center for Water Security and Sustainable Management, IWSSM, project on water security is well underway, and I'm happy to inform you that the Water Security Issue number 4 publication has been released under the theme of Water Security and Cities, Integrated Urban Water Management. A webinar was conducted on October 24th, highlighting the integrated urban water management approach with a focus on building resiliency within urban centers. The 5th case study report on making decisions for climate adaptation is in the final editing phase, and it will be published in early 2025. As for issue 6, we will have the theme on biodiversity and water security. It's in its final draft, pending for review for a few chapters, and the publication date is yet to be decided. Now, as for issues 7 and 8, a new agreement was made with UNESCO IWSSM for IWRA to support again the publications in a 3-year period. So I would like to inform that Rhea Stefan, IWRA's Deputy Editor-in-Chief of Water International, will be replacing Mary Trudeau for both case study reports. A huge thank you goes to Mary Trudeau for her dedication and considerable contributions on these issues over the last couple of years, as well as supporting the Executive Office last year and this year. With regards to our Smart Water Cities project with Cape Water and Asia and the Asia Water Council, this collaboration ended last year in 2023, and it's achieved its main objectives and goals, which were mainly to develop an instrument or capacity building tool to measure and compare the provision of urban water services and urban water management in cities around the world. The creation of an index helped to identify the key elements of smart water cities, to learn and be able to compare cases one to another and to measure the performance across time. The project had 3 phases, each of them a year long, and more information can be found on our website. Now, in 2025, we will be renewing the project with Cape Water to further expand on the Smart Water Cities Index for international cities, building on previous collaboration in evaluating the Busan Eco Delta City and Semarang cities. So please stay tuned for more information around this. Apart from these main projects, IWRA, through its executive office, was also active and engaged representing the association as board members for the World Water Council, the Asia Water Council, the Human Rights for Water. I participated in many meetings and committees, for instance, the OECD's Water Governance Initiative, the 10th World Water Forum. It also participated in steering committees of the Seaways Source to Sea platform, and continued to be members of UN Water, UNFCCC as an accredited organization, as well as UNDESA. It is important to remind you all that these partnerships help to facilitate new opportunities for IWRA and its members through new projects and task forces, either learning more about what is happening or contributing with our knowledge and further collaborating. Last year and this year, we also managed to achieve a lot through Water International. We published 8 issues in 2023, and so far in 2024, we have 6 issues published with 2 more remaining. About half of those issues are special issues in collaboration with partner organizations. In 2023, IWRA was pleased to report that we began a second round of mentoring program, wherein papers written by selected early career scholars and water professionals that are either co-authored with or supervised by senior water professionals are published in Water International. This year, significant progress was made, and mentors and mentees worked hand in hand to publish articles soon on Water International. But our work with the youth didn't stop there. On top of many initiatives led by the Early Career and Young Professional Task Force, we also launched the next, we will soon launch, the next cohort of World Water Envoys to attend the 19th World Water Congress in Marrakesh next year. They will represent their communities, they will share with us their local water resources challenges, and they will find solutions with their experts in dedicated workshops to bring back those responses they can implement in their local communities and have a positive impact. I want to stop here and ask you if there is time for one question before I jump into what else was done throughout this year and what lies ahead of us.
Sure, Ignacio. So we don't have any questions at the moment, but just for the sake of time, we've shared a Google feedback form for our members and non-members. So if before we start losing people, if you can all just click the link in the chat when you have a moment after this General Assembly, that would be great. Thank you.
Great. So thanks for that, Leonors. So one of the biggest activities following the 18th World Water Congress in Beijing was, without any doubts, the first Islands Water Congress that took place last September and that our president already reported on. But I wanted to just give you at a glance what we have achieved, which is a real true success, to be honest. The main outcomes, in case you missed them, were, for instance, a memorandum of understanding signed between 2 island nations to foster collaboration on freshwater management across island communities. The IWRA Islands Water Congress Policy Report that will be published soon in early 2025. These will include recommendations and guidelines for policymakers, focusing on sustainable water management in island settings, and a dedicated session to the host island, the Faroese Islands. A new IWRA task force on water and islands will be established soon to engage more and ensure that the unique island perspective is incorporated and also reflected in the upcoming 19th Congress in Marrakesh next year. 2 issues of 2 special issues, one on Water International and the Island Studies Journal, are being planned, featuring key research and insight for selected papers. And also, the Congress contributed to a new water law set to be discussed and approved by the Faroese Parliament in 2025. A legal expert group composed of members of the Island Congress International Scientific Committee was formed to advise on the reform of the new water law in the Faroe Islands. So I also want to echo here Yuanyuan's words and thank everyone that made this event possible, in particular the Faroese Geological Survey, the International Scientific Committee members, and the co-chairs of the ISC, especially Francesco Sindico and Alowa Rengisdottir Ainsgaard, because they had an unparalleled leadership and energy that took us to the next level, and we've achieved so much thanks to them, as well as the support of board members from Yuanyuan Lee, Gabriel Eckstein, Henning Björkdung, and Ganesh Pangari, as well as all the executive office the speakers, sponsors, rapporteurs, and of course, the volunteers. As mentioned before, we will host our next edition of the World Water Congress in the beautiful city of Marrakesh from the 1st of December to the 5th of December 2025 under the theme of Water in a Changing World, Innovation and Adaptation. So please stay tuned for more news and updates, the call for abstracts, special session, the next call for Envoys program and the rapporteurs will soon be launched. And I also would like to inform you that we're making good progress on the IWRA's commitment to the UN Water Action Agenda submitted following the last UN Water Conference in New York last year. Our commitment aims to create, in case you missed it, a project with our members and partners to develop an approach and methodology to make research and scientific knowledge more accessible to and usable by practitioners, policymakers, and the public at large. If you want to be engaged, please do not hesitate to contact us at the Executive Office. And of course, we will continue working hard to secure the next host of the Second Island Water Congress in 2026, extend the existing projects, seek out for more projects, mainly on island communities, represent IWRA at different water events and preparatory process, including the 11th World Water Forum in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, among many other webinars, policy briefs, masterclasses, online conferences, etc., etc., etc. So thank you very much for listening. I know we are a little bit running out of time, so I would like to now pass the floor to Basil Laher, the chair of the membership committee. He's also the assistant research scientist at the Texas A&M Energy Institute, an adjunct assistant professor at the Department of Biological and Agricultural Engineering, and a research fellow at the Institute for Science, Technology, and Public Policy at Texas A&M University. Basil has worked as an intern in the executive office many years ago in Paris and has formerly chaired the Early Career and Young Professional Task Force before joining the board in 2022. Basil, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ignacio, and hello, everyone from Texas. Thank you all for joining us from the many different countries and time zones you're joining us from today, and for your interest to find out more about our activities and plans for our members. It's also good to see a lot of non-IWRA members in the audience. As chair of the memberships committee, I'm pleased to share that our community continues to grow and engage more actively than ever. Today, IWRA has over 5,500 members, a 70% increase in our membership since 2021, with members who come from over 145 countries representing all regions of the world. This is an impressive milestone, the highest in the history of our association. One of the main reasons for this remarkable achievement, and as you may remember, is in early 2021, we transitioned to a new membership structure, putting members back at the center of everything we do. This structure is defined by the level of engagement each of our members wishes to have, and it offers 3 individual membership levels: bronze, silver, and gold. In addition, there are 2 organizational memberships, silver and gold partnerships. The bronze membership is free, unlimited membership for people who just want to keep an eye on IWRA's activities and obtain minimal benefits at no financial cost. The silver membership is aimed at anyone who wants to network, get involved in our activities, and have a full IWRA experience. Silver members are given the opportunity to leverage their membership to advance their careers and reputations with the possibility of having a leading role in IWRA activities. It also grants access to Water International, which is IWRA's journal. The gold membership, on the other hand, includes all of the previously mentioned benefits, but is aimed at members who want a premier experience and who are planning to participate in IWRA events. This membership provides a discount on registration and provides access to exclusive events. And here I'd like to share a quick snapshot of IWRA's current membership categories and the number of members in each. As you can see, most of IWRA members are currently in the bronze level, followed by the silver and gold categories, and partnership members only represent a small part of our membership. It's important, therefore, to remind bronze members of the benefits they could enjoy when upgrading to silver or gold categories. We've been implementing targeted campaigns toward this goal, but we also want to hear from you. Connect with us through the link that was shared with you, the Google form, so we could hear from you. And connect with us through our social media, email our office, or speak with a board member to share what you value, enjoy, and hope to see in this association. And speaking about supporting our members, last year we also successfully launched our Silver Membership Grants program for water enthusiasts who cannot afford an IWRA Silver Membership subscription. Thanks to the generous sponsorship of our Gold and Silver partners, we are happy to announce that we distributed 38 memberships in 2023 and 28 memberships in 2024. We also have plans to further invite organizations to become part of our community and collaborate more closely with the association, and to improve our membership space hosted by Reclat for a more active and user-friendly experience. And here I would like to reiterate our purpose and strength lie in being an association created by members for members. We are committed to continually enhancing our efforts to offer unique opportunities that align with IWRA's mission and serve our members' interests. There are many ways to increase the impact of IWRA's work and activities, but more importantly, your work and your activities. IWRA is ready and wants to help you in this regard. This can be achieved through various means, such as hosting online or in-person events, publishing in Water International, initiating new projects, being active in our task forces, and conducting capacity building exercises. I extend an invitation to you to become an engaged member of IWRA, and I would like to invite you to share your insights on how we can enhance our efforts to support you as well. For those of you present who are not yet a member, I invite you today to sign up for a bronze membership free of charge, so you can begin to see the many benefits offered by an IWRA membership. I'd like to invite all of you who are members to play an active role in shaping this association and its growth in a way that best serves your need and our overall mission of becoming a leading, cross-disciplinary, membership-focused international association focused on bridging science and policy on issues related to addressing the complex challenges that face our water resources. As we look ahead, remember that IWRA is your association, shaped by your insights, strengthened by your participation, and driven by your needs. Together, we have the opportunity to make a lasting impact on the global water community. I encourage each and every one of you to take ownership of this journey, ensuring that IWRA continues to reflect the diverse voices and aspiration of its members. And now I'd like to introduce Dalia Sabri, who's a board member at IWRA and chair of the IWRA Egypt chapter. And she's also founder and chairperson of Miyah Arab International Water Foundation in Egypt. Dalia is a water and development technical advisor. She earned her PhD and Masters of Science in Civil Engineering, specialized in water resources engineering from the University of TU Berlin, a Master's of Science in Water Resources Engineering from Lund University in Sweden, and a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from Cairo University. Dalia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Basil, for your kind introduction. A very good afternoon to everyone from Cairo, Egypt. It's very nice to be part of the 2024 General Assembly. I'm going to briefly report you on what IWRA chapters and task force have been doing lately. So IWRA last year in Beijing, the committee presented a new set of guidelines which were developed to assess the existing and new geographic chapters to govern themselves in a manner consistent with IWRA operations. So what is a geographic chapter at IWRA? Briefly, IWRA chapter is a group of at least 2 IWRA members from a specific country or geographic region. The chapter aims to actively engage on a water-related theme like sharing knowledge, water-related issues, building stronger networks, and so on. It aims to deliver concrete activities like reports, seminars, webinars, policy briefs, etc. So chapters are expected to contribute to IWRA knowledge and knowledge product outcomes. If you are interested in setting up a chapter, there is a specific guidelines available for chapters on the website, IWRA website, or you can contact IWRA Executive Office. Lately, we have launched a new geographic chapter, as it was mentioned, in Egypt, and it's actually led by me. I'm glad to tell our members and non-members that we continue to receive growing interest from all around the world to set up new ones, and we are already reviewing these proposals. So all in all, IWRA has 7 geographic chapters, mainly and in no order, in China, Egypt, India, Latin America and Caribbean, Japan, Mongolia, and Oceania. So now I'll give you also brief on the guidelines for task forces. So similarly to the geographic chapters, our committee has reviewed and worked to develop guidelines for the task forces. So I will not go into details for the sake of time, but I would like to say that IWRA task forces consist of selected members who are experts and have considerable experience in water topics. So mainly task force members are supported by the IWRA Executive Office and of course the board. So the task force are very similar to the chapters, apart from their regional scope or focus. If you are also interested in setting up a task force, or you are not sure if there is a task force on your area of interest, please, you can find information on the IWRA website or contact IWRA Executive Office. So now I would like to turn things to Leonor, IWRA's Communication Director, to facilitate responses to your questions on today's General Assembly presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dalia. We have an active chat going on, so we've been a Q&A, so we've been responding already, but we have a few hands raised. So perhaps Salah, I know you've had your hand up since the beginning, and it's still up there. So would you like to ask a question? If so, we can invite you to open up your camera and your mic, and then you can ask your question live.
Good morning. I have a quick question. First of all, great job for Ignacio and Basil, and also Dalia for good reporting. As a new member, I would like to ask about the membership, especially for Basil. Do we have membership for students, or only those 3 categories where students can be members in one of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of our membership is students, and students can join. And again, as I mentioned, the entry level membership could be a bronze free membership where students could start getting a feel of how much they want to engage or where they want to engage. And the more they decide on taking more of a leadership role in our task forces and our activities, they could upgrade their membership to a silver or gold membership and become more engaged and take more of a leadership role. So certainly students are very welcome, and we've been actually part of our strategy for the past 3 years has been to grow our number of young professionals and younger members within the association.
Thank you for that answer. I have a quick announcement about I'd like to thank IWRA for sponsoring the conference on emerging pollutant and protecting water quality for the health and people. That was organized back in January of 2023. The book that was part of the part of the contribution of some of the presenters will be out next month. So looking forward to see that book and contribution. This couldn't have happened without the strong support from IWRA, and I would like to thank the members for that. So please look forward for that book. Gabriel and also Sarantoya from UNESCO and I are the co-editor of the book. So we look for your support. It's going to be open source, so you can share it with as many people as possible. So I just want to announce that and appreciate the help of IWRA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you, Ali.
So we have another question, a hand raised. We have Ranjan again. Salah, I see your hands are still raised. If you don't respond, we'll just move on. We have Dr. Abdul Rahman Amin. Antika, if we can also bring him in.
Yeah, maybe we also want to bring in Lesha. Lesha and Renée participated on behalf of IWRA, Lesha Widmer, recently, yesterday and the day before yesterday, in the last UN water meeting. So maybe they can share with us the major takeaways. It will be very good to understand how we can create more synergies and collaborate more. So Lesha, I see you're also there.
Okay, I don't see, we can add Lesha as well. But before then, let's just address, I think we have Ranjan. Would you like to ask a question? And then we can give a few minutes to Lesha to explain the outcomes from the UN water meeting. Rajan?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon
Yes.
from Nigeria.
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
my name is Dr. Ami Babatunde. Yes, my name is Dr. Ami Babatunde. Yes, I'm a bronze member. Of course, I've just completed my PhD in environmental chemistry from University of Ilorin, Nigeria. And my hope is to ascertain or migrate to the next level of memberships. And to be able to do that, one will need a lot of funding. So in this case, I'm appealing to the administration of International Water Resources Association, if they can empower some of us in terms of better placement that can settle our bills, so that we'll be able to move from a bronze level to a better level, where we'll be able to contribute our own quotas, both financially, physically, socially, to the progress of the IWRA. Then secondly, once that is settled, it's my hope and my plan to set up the West African chapter, where Nigeria is going to be the headquarters for West Africa. So those are my few submissions. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Abdul Rahman. Does anyone want to respond, or Basil, Ignacio, or shall I?
So I didn't hear well the first question. I had some technical problems. But regarding the West African chapter, it's much welcome. We are really looking forward to working more with the region, doing more also with Nigeria. So if you can contact our executive office to continue the discussions, that will be great. In terms of the first question,
I can answer the first question, Ignacio, and to reiterate what I mentioned in my statement, Dr. Abdurrahman, if upgrading to a silver membership or a gold membership, the fees is a barrier. We have, as I mentioned, launched for the past 2 years a grant program where we have awarded more than 35 plus per year grants from all over the world, from members who show interest and proposals for activities and engagement, who would like to engage more with the association, but with the fee being a barrier. So we've been providing silver memberships to many of those members. So I encourage you to look into that option.
Yes, and just to reiterate what Basil has already mentioned, silver membership gives you opportunities of leadership within the association. You can chair a task force, set up a chapter. So we encourage you again to look at those benefits on our website. Then I think, Lesha, would you like to give us a quick summary of the outcomes from the UN Water meeting? Lesha, for all of you who don't know, is also a vice president of the International Water Resources Association. She's been a very active member of our board.
We are, yes.
There you are.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I would like to make a few small points going forward. One is that one of the, I would say, somewhat new activities of IWRA in the last period was that we got a little bit more active on the advocacy side. So basically using all the knowledge that we accumulate through the research and the task forces and actually make it work for us in getting our messages across. In the last 2 days, that was one of the reasons I joined late, because I just landed from New York. IWRA was very well represented during the UN Water meeting. And UN Water is the coordinating mechanism within the United Nations on water. Lily Yu was there, Martin-Nagle was there, and I was there myself. So we had a big presence. So there are a few things that I think are important going forward. As Ignacio already mentioned, one of the things we did was commit to an action under the Water Action Agenda, which is part of the water processes within the UN. Our start was a little bit slow, and partly because of me being badly injured. But I think what we got was a lot of very good responses also to the basic idea, which is make the research more accessible to the average project and program manager. So what do we do with the research that we have? Put it in a drawer, say, hooray, we had a publication? Or are we actually using it to get our points across and help the people that might be helped by the research that we've done? So that point was discussed quite a few times during the UN Water meeting, because one of the strategic goals of UN Water is to create a better enabling environment to get monitoring, data collection across and being used. So both Renée and Lily and I made the point that IWRA wants to be part of that. And that is something we need to discuss within the broader groups to make sure that we go forward with that, because it's also going to be a big part of the UN Water Conference in 2026. And this is strategic goal of number 4 of UN Water Community. As to UN Water Conference in 2026, of course, we made a point that IWRA is hosting the World Water Congress end of 2025 in Marrakesh. And we got a specific request, Ignacio, to, we can discuss that later, to see if we can participate in the preparatory meeting for that. And there are 2 of those. One is going to take place early 2025 in New York. And the next one is going to be an official PrepCom, as they call it, in Dakar by the end of 2025. And yes, Ignacio, we made a point of the fact that we don't want it to coincide with our conference, but at the same time, we made an offer that they could come and present the process of the 2026 conference in our conference. So I think that is one for the agenda for the longer term. Secondly, we have to sort out how IWRA and other NGOs can partake in the UN Water Conference in 2026 and 2028. So there's going to be a consultation, especially with Senegal, who are sort of the lead for inclusiveness of non-state actors. So that's another item that we need to discuss to see what role IWRA can play, especially involving probably more of the researchers, the academic world, in contributing to the next two big UN conferences on water. And last but not least, some of the work that we did do so far on the commitment of IWRA on translating research into something practical, met with a lot of applause. And I think we got a few more people to add to our working group on that. So that's another one. So I think the point I like to make is that there are numerous chances for the IWRA to actively involved in these international and global developments. It does mean more work, but it also means that there's a good chance for a lot of our members, Basil, to participate in different positions in the coming period. So there's some work to be done to shape that, how to do that. There was a very good representation of the young people in the UN Water meeting. So that might be also one of the contact points that we can use. Also in relation to the youth program that IWRA has. And last but not least, I think Renée and Lily, the three of us put IWRA on the map in the UN water community. And I think that's very important. So my last remark is, dear Chair, dear President, I think we need a group on advocacy and involvement in the international events for the next period. So maybe you want to take that forward to the program for the next group. And I wish everybody luck, and I'm very sad to say goodbye to you in the role I had, and I will see where that goes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lesha, for contributions and for all your work you did, all the work you did for IWRA up until now, and of course at the recently concluded UN Water meeting. So just for the sake of time, if there aren't any questions from our participants, I'll give maybe 1 minute in case one of our attendees would like to ask a question, whether you're a member or not. This is your chance. If not, you can send questions directly to our office inbox at, Antika, can you share the email in the chat? So you can send us your questions, and then those will be posted on our website along with the recording and presentations from today. Okay, so I think we're out of questions. So I'll hand over to Eric Tardieu, our IWRA Secretary General, to close us off.
Thank you very much, Leonore, and thank you very much to all our panelists and active members in this meeting. We are a little bit behind schedule, as you can see, but before we conclude this General Assembly, I would like to make a call for action to all of you, as we did last year. I believe that our members are what differentiates us and which is our greatest assets. This is why I want to do another call this year for your greater involvement and participation in the life of your association. There are many opportunities for you to become involved. For example, you can participate on a task force. Briefly, the list of our current ones: climate change, water security, early career and young professionals, smart water management, water quality, groundwater, land for flood, and water and SDGs. You can also participate by engaging in one of our projects. For example, the UNESCO IWSSM will be launching a new call for water security case studies before the end of this year. If you have any suggestions about how and where we should organize future events, please contact the executive office, because we are always seeking expressions of interest for the next 20th World Water Congress in 2027 or 2028, the second edition of the Island Water Congresses in 2026, a new spatial or technical water congress, a new edition of an online conference or masterclass, and many other things that you might want to think of. Of course, we are also looking for your direct involvement in the development webinars and policy briefs, as speakers, as organizers, as authors, and we look forward to your ideas and proposals. So as our colleague Basel Daher put it, we are all ears. We also welcome your manuscript submissions to Water International for publication consideration, and your information about your achievements, your projects, your publications can also be shared in subsequent issues of our newsletter, IWRA Update. Thank you to everyone for your participation and all the questions and comments received through the chat. It was my privilege to chair this last General Assembly as Secretary General of IWRA under this mandate. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I did. For your good reference, the recording of this General Assembly will be posted on the IWRA website at the earliest. And if you are watching this recording and have one question, please send it by email to the executive office. So see you very soon, and thanks again for being part of this amazing community that is IWRA. Bye-bye.
Thank you.